10 Pregnancy Sex Problems, and How to Fix Them. From morning sickness to your growing baby bump, here are 10 of the most common sex problems you might encounter, along with simple solutions that can help make your sex life more comfortable and enjoyable. Having sex when you're pregnant can feel like you're navigating uncharted waters, and, particularly if this is your first baby, you are. Just know that it's completely normal for sex to change when you're expecting, and for pregnancy symptoms and that growing baby bump to throw a bit of a wrench into things. Try not to let common pregnancy sex problems get you down. It's as important as ever to keep your bond with your partner strong before your bundle of joy arrives, when diaper changes and sleep schedules will make sex tricky in other ways. Here are 10 of the most common sex problems during pregnancy and some easy solutions to fix them. Morning sickness leaves you not feeling up to sex. Pregnant or not, tummy troubles make most women feel unsexy and not physically up for sex. So when morning sickness strikes, it's no wonder sex becomes the last thing on your mind. Unlike a headache, though, which can actually improve after a quick sex session, knocking boots often just makes nausea worse. The solution: wait until you feel less woozy, if your nausea strikes in the a.m. And take comfort in the fact that morning sickness typically tapers off by the beginning of the second trimester of pregnancy. Pregnancy fatigue is making you too sleepy for sex. Growing a baby is exhausting, especially in the first and third trimesters. But conking out as soon as your head hits the pillow can put a damper on the romance for couples who typically have sex at night. The solution: get busy first thing in the morning, it'll make for a much better day. Bonus: once your partner is in bed, you'll have a human pillow for a post-sex nap. Your growing baby bump is getting in the way. If you feel like your bump is preventing you from enjoying, or getting into, certain sex positions, including some favorites from before you got pregnant, you're not alone by any stretch. It's totally normal for your growing tummy to get in the way of some sex moves. The solution: there are plenty of pregnancy-friendly sex positions to choose from to replace your old standbys for the time being. Side-lying positions, front to front or front to back, otherwise known as spooning, may be the most comfortable, as they'll keep you off your back. Woman on top allows you more control over penetration. Rear entry can work well, too, either with you on your knees or sitting on his lap facing his legs while he lies down, aka reverse cowgirl. It's also okay to enjoy a quickie with him on top, missionary, as long as he keeps his weight off you by supporting himself with his arms. But after the 4th month, you'll do well to avoid spending too much time flat on your back. A negative body image makes you feel less than sexy. As your body changes throughout pregnancy, you may feel less comfortable in your own skin, which can make it tough to feel desirable or get in the mood for sex. The solution: chances are, your partner will find your new pregnant figure super sexy. But taking care of yourself and the power of positive thinking are key to tackling this problem. First, try to focus on how your body is changing in incredible ways to support your growing baby. Adding more pregnancy-safe exercises to your routine, like prenatal yoga, can also bolster a healthy mind-body connection. So can eating nutritious foods as much as possible and doing things to pamper yourself. All that can help you tune out, or at least turn down the volume on, any self-doubt you may be experiencing so that you can have more fun between the sheets. Swelling changes how sex feels. The hormonal changes of pregnancy can increase the blood flow to your pelvic area, which can feel oh so awesome or a bit annoying, depending on how it affects you. For some moms-to-be, engorged genitals and other labia changes increase sensitivity and lead to stronger and easier orgasms. But they make others feel less satisfied after an orgasm, like a sneeze that got away. It's also touch and go for your partner. Your swelling may lead to a snugger fit, which could be a pregnancy pro, or it could cause him to lose his erection. The solution: if genital engorgement happens to be throwing you off your game, see it as an opportunity to switch things up. You may find it more pleasurable to replace your usual with oral sex, manual stimulation, or a different position. That said, if swelling is accompanied by pain during intercourse, that could be a sign of varicose veins in your pelvic region. They can happen in the vulva, the vagina and the surrounding area, which may require special treatment. Leaky or tender breasts during foreplay is uncomfortable. While this can be a bit messy, and slightly awkward, if you don't expect it, some women begin to produce pre-milk called colostrum in response to stimulation, especially during the 3rd trimester. So when second base gets slippery, it's nothing to worry about, unless it makes you uncomfortable. Similarly, while larger, engorged early pregnancy breasts will likely pique the interest of your partner, many women feel painful tenderness when they're touched. The solution: if you're concerned about colostrum getting in the way or if tenderness is creating foreplay trouble, ask your partner to focus on other parts of your body. As for the latter issue, take heart that the sensitivity tends to subside by month 4. Until then, suggest your partner enjoy looking without touching, and build anticipation for a more hands-on approach later. Extra vaginal discharge decreases sensation when you have a baby on the way, who will eventually make that grand entrance through the birth canal. It's not surprising that you might feel more moist than usual down there. And that increase in vaginal discharge, which many moms-to-be experience throughout pregnancy, can be more pronounced during sex. While this might be welcome news if you're typically less lubricated, too much of a good thing can actually decrease sensation for both of you and even make it more difficult for him to keep his erection or reach orgasm. The solution: discharge doesn't have to put a damper on your romp. A little extra foreplay may help both of you. And it's actually still possible for expectant moms to experience dryness during sex. If that's the case, unscented water-based lubricants, such as KY or Astroglide, are safe to use as needed. A stronger natural scent is off-putting. Many pregnant women notice that their nether regions smell a bit different. Again, this can be thanks to that extra discharge, known in medical speak as leukorrhea, which can change your vaginal secretions' consistency, odor and taste. And if you get a whiff that's less than sultry, don't let it turn you off from sex. The solution: if it bothers you, massage a little scented oil into your inner thighs to mask the scent. A quick rinse off before hopping into bed can help too. You're worried about light bleeding after sex. A bit of spotting following intercourse might make you hesitant to get busy the next time you're between the sheets. The solution: fear not, it's totally normal. When you're pregnant, your uterus is engorged with additional blood vessels, your whole pelvic region is experiencing increased blood flow, and your cervix is more ripe, red, sensitive, even more so toward the end of your pregnancy, all of which can make a little bleeding par for the course. As long as the spotting is light, it's usually nothing to worry about, though it's still worth mentioning to your practitioner. Your fluctuating sex drive is throwing you for a loop. You could be feeling like you just can't get enough one minute, and the next, you want nothing to do with having sex. Sex drive ebbs and flows throughout pregnancy, but you may wonder if what you're experiencing at any given moment is okay, or if it's an indication that something's wrong. The solution: rest assured that these ups and downs in your sex drive are completely normal. Just as no two women's pregnancies are exactly the same, there isn't a boilerplate way that expecting an LO will affect your libido either. Some women experience a higher sex drive thanks to hormonal shifts. Interest can either pick up or wane during the second trimester. Sometimes, a boost is attributed to the fact that early pregnancy symptoms, like morning sickness, have subsided, and there's more energy to put into your sex life. Extra blood flow to the labia, clitoris and vagina can make it easier to climax than ever before, and have orgasms that are stronger and longer lasting, too. But the same hormones that can make for a heightened sex drive can also put the kibosh on it and leave you feeling less in the mood than usual. And as delivery nears, it's common for libido to wane again, sometimes even more than in the first trimester, given challenges that are both physical, your growing bump, aches and general discomfort, and mental, anticipation of the big event. What's normal when it comes to pregnancy sex? It's normal to experience any or all of the above roadblocks. At every turn, it's quite possible to encounter an unexpected symptom, and if you're concerned or have questions, run it by your OB/GYN. When to call the doctor if you experience any of the symptoms that serve as red flags throughout pregnancy, which may or may not be related to sex. Get in touch with your practitioner right away. Are there any risks of having sex during pregnancy, or is it safe throughout? For the majority of couples, sex is safe throughout the duration of pregnancy. But it's best to speak to your practitioner to nail down the exact details of what's safe in terms of sex and what's not, and whether any restrictions are temporary or apply for the entire pregnancy. Your OB/GYN may ask you to put the brakes on it at certain times or even for the full 9 months when the pregnancy is considered high risk. It's possible that you may also be allowed to have intercourse without orgasm, foreplay without penetration, or penetration only if a condom is used. Remember that no matter what kind of pregnancy sex problems you encounter, you should decide whether or not you're ultimately comfortable getting intimate. If you don't feel like getting busy, consider cuddling, kissing and touching, all of which can foster intimacy too. Click link in description to learn everything about pregnancy.